Hello and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Adam's Music Box. And today I want to talk about one of the greatest songs of all time that didn't really get the proliferation into the wider world of music it deserved, but it's one that people who are in the know, whatever that means, really, really love. And this is a song called Farewell to Paradise. And it came out in 1973 by the enigmatic and for a while absolutely globe-trotting singer-songwriter Emmett Rhodes. Now, Emmett Rhodes was someone who burst on the scene in the late 60s as a singer-songwriter one-man band. He overdubbed all of his own instruments. His songs, in great part, were in the vein of, and I don't necessarily like the term, but they called it the psychedelic pop of the late 60s. Some would call it neo-baroque pop, but it was the pop that were singable and memorable tunes, but with chord changes and certain stylistic inflections that were something new and something different. And most of it was actually quite good. And Emmett's songwriting, Emmett Rhodes's, however you want to say it, songs were absolutely excellent. And in my view, there was no better song than the song that was really one that became his swan song, the final track, the self-titled track, eponymous even to the 1973 Farewell to Paradise album. Now, after that album, Emmett Rhodes had a split with his record label and he disappeared for around 40 years, becoming a kind of cult figure, but one who had totally stayed away from the music industry. But my favorite version of what, in my view, is his finest song, not Return, Farewell to Paradise, came in 1977, and it came through the voice of one of the great singers of the so-called classic pop era, one of my favorite vocalists of all time, and this was, of course, Vic Damone. Now, Vic Damone had an album in 1977 arranged by the super talented Norman Geller. Really interesting, modern yet timeless arrangements, and it was called Vic Damone's Feelings. And most of the songs on this album were of the time. In other words, they were songs that would have been relatively contemporary in the 1970s. And one of the songs on the album, in fact, the final track, is Emmett Rhodes's Farewell to Paradise. And this version is just so moving. You could listen to it and think, when was this written? Was this a Rodgers and Hart song from the 30s? Is this some sort of music hall song of the 19th century that has been modernized in terms of the arrangement? Is this something written for Vic Damone? It's one of those songs that hides its origins so well because the chords are so timeless, the chord progressions are so, magnetic, and the lyrics are just marvelous. And I think obviously the original, listen to Emmett's version, but check out Vic Damone's version because he truly turns it into something both cinematic but also emotionally intimate, which is a great way for me to sort of categorize Vic Damone's style of vocals. Truly one of my favorites of all time, and a great, great, great song. As always, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.